our dearest second-party developer, Retro Studios, well, what are they doing?
Well, let's go.
We're going to talk about the ghost of retro past, the ghost of retro present, and the ghost of retro future.
And the Jacob Marley of Retro Studios.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
Okay, so the analogy that you used was based on the Christmas
story.
Yes.
Or song.
And it includes 4 ghosts, past, present, future, and Jacob Marley, which was his partner that had died. And yeah. Anyway, we are going to be talking... Sorry, I had to nerd out there for a second. We're going to be talking about Retro Studios. These are the people that have done some pretty amazing stuff. And we're going to just go over their history, see what they've done, see where they might be headed, speculate.
Well, let's start at the start, where they formed in Austin, Texas. That's a cool place.
I've never been.
Me either. And it formed in 1998 to make, quote, more mature games for the GameCube. They were kind of commissioned by Nintendo to do that. They started on 4 projects, and this is going to be really interesting because these are things that didn't see the light of day, and I don't think a lot of people know about them.
I have not heard about these, I don't think.
Project number 1, Action Adventure.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds great, doesn't it? Number 2, Car Combat.
Okay.
Number 3, NFL Retro Football.
Okay.
Number 4 is Raven Blade, which was an RPG. And we have a video to show for this one.
Oh my goodness, I have not seen this.
That's because it was revealed at E3. Alright, we'll just look
I haven't seen this because it got revealed at E3? That was your reasoning? You have not seen this because it got revealed at E3.
Well, you weren't there, were you?
I know I wasn't there, so yeah, I guess that is the case. I didn't start following E3 until much, much after 2001.
Right.
All right.
Roll trailer. And it is soundless.
Okay.
So we're free to commentate on this one.
Now, this looks like a totally cheesy anime/90s
PC game.
Yes, or cartoon that was using digital graphics.
Here we go, though. Now we're into the game.
Okay, you know what? I think I have seen screenshots of this.
There's going to be lots of people dying in this trailer. Dying left and right.
You know what? This looks pretty good for 2001.
Does it?
Oh, okay,
compared
maybe
to Metroid Prime? I mean, it's better than a Nintendo 64 game. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, I guess... Yeah, it's about on par with Dreamcast stuff. I think I have heard of this game before.
I do like how the main character can swing left and swing right.
Yeah.
And he kicks.
And this... I don't know, the backgrounds seemed very untextured.
There you go.
And that's it.
That's Raven Blade. That was scrapped. But got demoed at E3 2001. All 4 of these games, Action Adventure, Car Combat, NFL Retro Football, and Raven Blade, were canceled in favor of Metroid Prime. Miyamoto came to Austin for a little visit at Retro Studios. Mm-hmm. Boy, you can imagine the sweat on that day.
Oh my goodness. And that's not even just the humidity down there.
Right. I have a humidity story about Texas.
Oh, so I want to hear it.
It wasn't Austin, but I flew to Texas, and our ride didn't show up until like 10 p.m. So we were waiting in the airport pretty much all day. And then it was nice and cool inside the airport. I expected it to be cool outside. At nighttime.
Yeah.
Pitch black outside, and the airport doors swung open. And I was hit by heat. A wall of heat.
Was it just like a wall of water and heat? Was it because it was humidity?
Yes.
Oh.
So Miyamoto went there, he put up with the humidity, and he was upset about all of the games except for Action Adventure's engine. He didn't even like Action Adventure. He was like, the engine looks okay. Of course, these are code names. But
of course.
I don't know how necessarily Raven Blade got demoed if he wasn't that happy with it.
Maybe
they needed to show off GameCube.
It could be
fidelity stuff.
Yeah.
So he saw Action Adventure's engine and thought, that might work for Metroid. And then they actually bought Retro in 2002 to create Metroid and Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Now this is crazy because I look at Raven Blade and I'm like, oh, that's all right game, but if we look at what they have put out since then, it blows me away that they went from that, which looked to what they have been putting out, which is, of course, the Metroid Prime series, 1, 2, and 3, and Trilogy, obviously. They made those games. They look beautiful. They play like a dream. They did something that people didn't think was going to be possible.
Right.
It was around that time period, something that we don't experience nowadays. Like the big transition in games that people might be familiar with that have been born since 2000 is like motion control. Mm-hmm. And that has been the biggest revolution since then. But before that, making the jump from 2D to 3D was a huge deal because we see characters like, I want to bring up Bubsy, which is apparently now, have you heard about this?
No.
Bubsy is making a comeback.
Great.
Yeah.
But everything's making a comeback these days.
Anyway, Bubsy had 2D games or a 2D game, and they brought him into 3D, and it was terrible. Mm-hmm. So many games just couldn't make the jump from 2D to 3D. No. It was disastrous for them. We see afterwards, Sonic made that jump, but then regressed.
Gex couldn't even make the jump from 3D to 3D.
Nope. It was a trying time, and with Metroid doing, they had the Super Metroid was the most previous game, right? Before Fusion and Prime.
Sorry, what?
The last game that had been released before Fusion and Prime was Super Metroid, right?
Maybe Zero Mission?
Wasn't that a Game Boy Advance?
Yes.
You know what? You might be right.
But which one came first, Zero Mission or Fusion?
Or Fusion, yeah. No, I think you're right. But anyway, it had been a long time, and that was a remake anyway. They didn't know if it was going to make the jump, and Retro Studios just proved that they could make it happen.
Thank goodness for Samus being in Smash Bros. On the 64.
Yes.
Otherwise, Metroid completely skipped the generation, and interest could have been even lower.
Yes.
Now, they made Donkey Kong Country, and that was good. Tropical Freeze was also good. Mm-hmm. They helped on Mario Kart 7.
Yep.
And now the question is, what is their future?
Yes.
And that was brought back to light in E3. Basically, every single E3, we're asking the same question.
What's Retro working on? And apparently, they're not working on Metroid Prime 4, which makes me sad.
Yes.
Because they were the ones who, first of all, made it happen in the first place.
Right.
And they did 2, and they did 3, which 3 was a fantastic game as well. 2 was good. And it makes me worry that it's going to be good. Like, I don't know. If they hand off to it.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah. Whether or not it's going to be good. And it's like, they've done well up to this point, and then when we see, Hunters was okay. I don't know if they developed that. I don't think so. I on their game list, I didn't see Hunters represented.
Okay.
And then we have Metroid Prime Federation Force with
don't forget Pinball.
Work on Metroid Prime Pinball. But anyways, those two they didn't make, and they were the ones that were like.
At least we know that the developers of Federation Force aren't working on Prime 4.
Right.
Because Nintendo has stated it is a talented new development team. Now, my theories for Retro right now are another Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Or a new IP. Possibly what I think is the most likely is Trilogy HD. Because think about how many years have been between the last game and 4.
That's right.
Especially if Nintendo is going to keep 4 in the title, then we might need some background, some catching up of the new players.
Right.
So I would be very happy with that if Retro was porting the Trilogy, up-resing it, and bringing it to Switch.
That would be really cool. Because the last, Trilogy, I think, was released in 2009, or maybe it was just 3 was released in 2009. I think 3 was released in 2009.
Trilogy 10.
Trilogy, yeah, very soon after. So it's been a while. It has been a while.
And we know the wait for Prime 4 is going to be a long time. So if Retro is giving us this little stopgap, and it was all new, beautiful, high definition, and playable on the Switch, Scott would be a happy clam.
Yes, and I would too.
But it's possible they're working on a new IP as well. Maybe a different shooter.
Could be.
Or is that pretty well covered these days with Splatoon and Prime 4?
I don't know. Well, I mean, didn't these guys start off doing Turok?
Yes, that's right. The studio was formed out of Turok Talent, the game for the 64.
Yeah.
And it also would be an interesting note that Microsoft poached a few employees from Retro, and Retro employees did go to work on Halo 4.
Okay.
And that's kind of always made me want to play Halo 4.
So the shooter thing is very much a possibility, whether it's a new IP, Turok again, or whatever.
Turok again, now that would be interesting.
It
is the era of comebacks and throwbacks.
Oh, I thought I was gonna say dinosaurs because we got Monster Hunter and
Super Mario
Odyssey with the dinosaurs. It's the time for dinosaurs to return.
But it definitely goes to say something. What's that phrase? It goes without saying.
It goes without saying. Yeah,
it goes to say something.
I when you said that, I was so confused because I'm like, that's it, right?
It goes without saying that Retro is such a talented developer because what other teams of Nintendo are people constantly asking each E3 what they're working on? There's a lot of anticipation behind this. We're excited to see where it goes from here. Mm-hmm. Also, this episode was requested by a Patreon of ours, J-Man, one of our newest ones, one of the ones who helped us break our podcast goal. So thank you very much for requesting this episode. And thank you to all the rest of you for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to leave your comments below. What do you guys think about Retro's past, and what do you think their future will be like?
See you guys next time.
Signing out.